And away we go. It is the nightcap. Brought to you by Hail Mary Sports Bar right here on BearcatJournal.com. Aaron forgot to hit the continuous loop on the screen, but that's okay. We'll make best of it. We are live from the Cincy Light Studios. We are brought to you by Hail Mary Sports Bar, located in Cheviot. They're on Harrison Avenue, right in the Dora District. You can go from bar to bar with your drinks, or you can just stay at Hail Mary's. They have a 27 TV layout, a 9-screen video wall. There's not a bad seat in the house. They subscribe to every sports package DirecTV offers, and you can stream all the games, while Cincinnati sports will always be on the video wall. The walk-in cooler is brand new. The draft lines are brand new. And not only do they pour the coldest beer around, but they pour your Cincy Light in a 32.8-degree beer frosted glass. All right, Aaron, let's get this ball rolling.
Let's.
Big one, Tuesday, 8 o'clock, Waco. As of this recording, I don't think the Bearcats have left Cincinnati. Hopefully that is coming soon, and they can get to Waco for this game. But travel in a blizzard, not always the best. So hopefully it's not something. I'm sure it's going to be something that the announce crew is talking about a lot tomorrow. But hopefully it's something they can overcome. Baylor's good. Cincinnati is they're
by all indications, yeah.
They're one of two teams. They're one of only two teams that have started the Big 12 0-2. They've lost at Kansas State. They've lost at home against Arizona. Both games close. Both games decided in the final minute. Both games Cincinnati could not pull off the comeback victory. Baylor, on the other hand, won their opener and then got boat raced by Iowa State 74-55.
Yeah,
they beat Utah 81-56. Yeah.
Baylor is good.
Iowa State is as good as anybody in the country, dude. With their best player is not playing well, and they are still playing like one of the 2 or 3 best teams in the country. Baylor is 13th in the country in offensive efficiency, 51st on defense. Surprising. This surprised me a little bit, Aaron. When I think of Baylor, I don't think of like they play like the Loyola Marymount, Paul Westhead, like guru of go type offenses. But I think of them as more of, a team that likes to get out and push the pace a little bit. I was surprised to see they are 210 on offense, 221 on defense.
Yeah,
that's a little surprising.
That's how they won their championship, right? So,
yeah, I mean, I guess now looking through it, they haven't always been that slow, but they've been fairly slow offensive and defensively. They can just shoot the shit out of it.
That said, I mean, I guess you can expect this to be a slower pace game than Arizona, certainly. As your over-under on this one is 130. It opened at 138.5 and remains at 138.5. So you're not expecting either team to score much more than 70.
Yeah, I think if you go back to like 2022, they were 108th in offensive tempo. 2023, they were 198, but still, not super slow. Not too far off of it this year at 210. So maybe just a little overreaction.
No,
I feel like because they played faster.
Well, I feel like their championship was only like a year or two ago, because it doesn't feel like that long ago, and that's what they did.
Fair enough.
They ran. The pandemic screwed everybody up. Our timeline is all over the place now. None of it makes any sense. They won in what, 2021?
I think that was it, yeah. So looking specifically, 3 guys, 5 guys offensively that you have to keep an eye on. Norchad Omier, 6'7", is going to play the 4 for them. 240. he's a guy that the kind of guy that has given Dylan Mitchell, as good as he's been defensively, Omer's given him a little bit of trouble. Cincinnati did a great job on Saturday, actually handling an awesome offensive rebounding Arizona team. They're going to have to repeat that against Baylor, especially against Omer. They get after it on the offensive glass, and he is the type of guy that does a lot of what we complain that is good at what we complain about for Cincinnati, Aaron. He gets offensive rebounds and he turns them into points. Because that is something the Bearcats are very good at offensive rebounding. They're not exactly the best at turning those offensive rebounds into points. Omer will do that if you let him.
Is there anybody that you think you could compare Omer to somebody that Cincinnati's played already?
I don't know. I'd have to.
I know it's tough to quantify 15 and a half at a 60% clip and averaging, I believe, also, 11 rebounds, by the way.
Yeah, well, he's 34th in the country in offensive rebound percentage and 37th in the country at defensive rebound percentage, which most guys are really good at one and then okay at the other. He is the rare guy that is great on both ends of the floor.
I don't feel very good about this game at all whatsoever. I don't have any reason right now to feel good about this game other than we came back from a 19-point deficit to lose by 5 instead of 19. And the other game we lost by 3. So you've lost by 8 points in all of your 2 games of Big 12 play thus far. This game right now, Cincinnati is 5.5-point dog. I don't feel I'd feel far better about this game if they were playing Baylor at home. Baylor at home, though, Cincinnati's probably favored, and I wouldn't feel good about them being favored right now in any game. I don't feel good about this team. I'm not out on this team yet, but I'm not. I don't feel good about.
You're like the Viking ship. You felt really good about him after Xavier and Dayton, right?
Sure, but now you haven't beat anybody. You haven't beat anybody since, and you've had Kansas State while a test on the road. Sure, you should have won that game, but you didn't.
Sure.
And
Nobody Arizona
at home, you probably. It's hard to say you should go there with that game. It's hard to say you should. It's hard to say you should have won that game, but if you got it back from 19 to 5, you probably should have figured out a way at some point during that game to not let it get to 19 and win the game. I don't feel good about them winning any game right now. Not any game in this conference.
Okay. Well, that doesn't make for very compelling content, Aaron. If your answer is just, I don't feel good about any of it. I'm out. I'm not out, but I'm out.
Well,
I don't feel good about any of it.
Sure, that's fine. But anyone who's watched us on this channel knows that I'm all over the place anyway.
I know. Can we talk about Baylor? This is a Baylor preview show, right?
We were talking about Omer.
Yes, he's really good. He's hard to stop. He scores around the rim. He rebounds. He blocks shots. He actually, the surprising one, Aaron, he's one of the better players in the country at steals. He gets to the line. He makes free throws. He's a problem. He's 57th in the country at 2-point percentage, at 69.5% from 2. Yikes. That's really good. 70%.
Robert Wright is also
5% from 2.
Robert Wright is also a problem. He is averaging 12.8. True freshman,
I believe. He shoots 40% from 3. Jeremy Roach shoots 40% from 3. And Jaden Nunn shoots 50% from 3 on pretty high volume. They played 12 games. He's shot 64 threes. He's made 32 of them. They will. Here's the big thing for me with Baylor, Aaron. if you have one of those like extended 8-9 minute droughts where you're really struggling to put points on the board, they will blow you out, especially at home. They will.
Sure. I agree.
Because they're going to keep scoring points. Like, if they have a drought, it might be 3 minutes. Like, you might see Baylor hasn't scored for 3 minutes. Well, you're not going to see Baylor scored 3 points in 12 minutes very often.
If you have a game where Jizzle and CMOS are both struggling from the floor,
yeah,
you're going to get run out of Baylor.
Probably. So we can talk until we're blue in the face about every other topic around the orbit of Cincinnati basketball. But that's what it comes down to. Mm-hmm. Offensively, it's so hard to describe, Dan, because none of it makes any sense.
No.
Right? Like,
because he's so raw. He doesn't even know that he's what he.
No, the problem is now he's polished, and he's just better.
I wouldn't say polished.
Listen to what the point I'm making, though. He's just better at all of those things that we used to laugh at when he looked like a baby deer. He's better at all of those things now.
He has stopped turning the ball over on the first possession of every game. He's got far better at that.
I appreciate him for that. A lot, but like he's found ways to get the ball in the basket.
Sure.
Like a lot of the stuff that we used to like, if you don't laugh, you'll cry. Like that stuff, we don't see as much of that stuff anymore. But then your other two are Jizzle and CMOS in terms of offensive weapons. They're playing. I don't want to say they're playing like shit, because I think Jizzle is still doing a lot of things that are impacting this offense. I still think CMOS, with as much attention as defenses are giving him, are giving this offense opportunities. But both of those guys have to play better, or they can't beat Baylor. They can't beat Kansas. They can't beat Houston. They can't beat Iowa State. Like, yeah, you can get in dogfights with everybody else.
Can't beat Kansas State.
Well, but you're missing my point. Like, they'll play in close games with those teams, and they'll be in like tooth and nail, come down to the final 3 minutes. But the next two are Baylor and Kansas. And if Jizzle and CMOS play below their expectations against Baylor and Kansas, this team is going to be 0-4 when we sit here next Monday. Period.
I expect it at this point.
I'm not to that point. Like, I think it's an overreaction to the emotional, the visceral feeling of watching them not play well. They're never going to play well ever again because they're not playing well now. A fan reaction is,
show me a game
until
where you
I
can
see
shoot.
them play well.
Yeah,
I don't believe that they can play well anymore.
Show me that you can shoot again. I thought they would have fixed it at home against Arizona, and you still couldn't shoot well at home. Yeah. So I don't expect them to shoot what. Just figure out how to shoot on the road at Baylor.
Here's the funny thing, Aaron. Here's the funny thing. You know where they've actually shot best in this stretch?
Don't do this to me.
It's in Kansas State. They were 47% from the floor and 36% from three. Those are both more than acceptable numbers.
36%? Yeah.
36% from three is above the national average. They didn't shoot a ton of threes, and they made a good number of the ones they shot.
That's where I want them to be. I know you love them shooting threes. I understand.
No, it's not that. A lot of it is matchup specific, Aaron. Arizona is going to give you threes. They're going to crowd the lane. They're going to challenge your twos, which means your twos are going to be difficult.
And they
stop them from doing that, you have to make some open threes.
Yeah, they did take good shots. I wasn't mad about the shots. I don't love a volume of 25 threes. But when you're Tyler Betsy wide open, just literally just you and the ball, no one else within 10 feet of you, you got it.
The ball moves, You find the open guy. The open guy has to make the shot. Has to.
If you're not making them, then get somebody else on the floor who is.
The thing I always try to like emphasize for people to understand is if you can't make them, Arizona has no reason to come out of their defense that protects the paint. So everybody says if you're not making threes, drive to the rim. Sure. I would love for that in theory to be I want it to be as easy as it is said for it to be accomplished. But if you can't make threes and stretch out the defense, when you drive to the rim, there's somebody there to block your shot. There's somebody there to stop the lob. Like there's just 3-4 guys there waiting for you. It makes offense really hard. So they're not taking.
Then you either need to figure out a lineup where you can scheme some dudes open, CMOS specifically, scheme him open, or figure out a way to make some shot. Like I'm frustrated in every facet of this offense right now. Every facet.
Okay, but like Dylan Mitchell did exactly. Teams are overplaying CMOS, right? So the guy that's playing the 4 is going to get a couple chances to knock down an open shot. Dylan Mitchell got those and made them against Arizona. When Tyler Betsy came in, he got them and did not make them. Right. Like that's how offense works, right? Okay, the defense is trying to take this guy away. Then this guy is probably going to be open. So get the ball to him. It's on him to make that look. Right now, they're not doing a good job of it. And until they do, defending this team is going to be easy. It doesn't matter. Like, that's the part I always laugh at. Well, the coach needs to draw it. Like, sure. But the reality is it doesn't matter what the coach draws up. If your best players can't execute when the ball finds them in a position to score. Gisler going 3 for 11. CMOS going 2 for 6. Like, that's your 2 best offensive players. They have to be better than that. They have to be better than what? 5 for 17? Those 2 guys against Arizona in a game they lost by 5?
And that's not even talking about the bench and how much better we need the bench to be.
Right, but like to just like get into a little deeper, like if those 2 guys make a couple shots when Arizona was making that run, it never gets to 19. So then maybe it gets to 11 or 12. But then when you make your comeback, you're up by 6 or 7 points instead of coming all the way back to tie.
Yeah.
Because you had opportunities. So, again, you're playing great offense at Baylor. If you go through those cold stretches and your 2 best players can't dig you out of it, you're probably not going to beat Baylor at Baylor. If they play well, you can change the narrative on this team pretty quick. And Baylor is a team that did just get beat by 20 Saturday.
We are not built like Iowa State.
I don't know that anybody is, but, there was a bunch of blowouts that happened over the weekend that weren't necessarily Iowa State induced. And Houston beat the shit out of TCU again tonight, I think. We'll see you tomorrow night after the game, 8 o'clock tip-off in Waco, if the Bearcats get there. That's the nightcap, brought to you by Hail Mary Sports Bar, live from the Cincy Light Studios, right here on BearcatJournal.com.
Prove me wrong, please. See ya!